All right, so we're going to put this all together right now. And for today's homework, you're going to be asked to factor all these. But to get you started, we're going to talk about which strategy will we use to factor these polynomials. All right, so we have four choices here. We have quadratic pattern, sum and difference, grouping, or GCF. Now with GCF, sometimes it's all you can do, but sometimes you do GCF and one of the other ones follows. But for some of these, we will have more than one box checked. So the first thing you should always check for is GCF. Okay, do they all have something in common? In this first one, yes, they all have an X in common. So GCF is going to be checked off. All right, now you look, okay, how many terms does it have? It has 3. It's quadratic, because once I take out the X, we'll be left with X squared minus 3X minus 10. So that does fit the quadratic pattern as well. Remember, the quadratic pattern will be an even degree, okay, with half, the second one being half. So it's not even to begin with, but after I take out the GCF, it does become even. It's a binomial, okay, so I'm thinking sum or difference. Okay, there's no GCF, and so is 27 a perfect cube? It is. So this will be the sum and difference of cubes. Is more specifically just the difference of cubes here. All right, this has 4 terms, so I'm thinking factor by grouping, but the first thing I look for is GCF. They all have an X in common. Okay, and then there's 4 terms, and if I take out that, it's going to have the same parentheses, so grouping will work. All right, so now here I've got 3, so I'm thinking quadratic pattern, but it's got a cubic, but it does have a GCF. So if I take out the GCF, okay, now it leaves me with X and X squared minus 3X, so now it fits the quadratic pattern as well. 4 terms, so I'm thinking grouping. There's no common factor in all of them, so this one will be grouping. Okay, x cubed plus 1 is a binomial. The sum is 1 a perfect cube. It is. So this is the sum of 2 cubes. Again, there's no GCF in there. All right, here we have a trinomial. It's even. This is half. Okay, so this will be the quadratic pattern. All right, I got 4 terms here, so I'm thinking grouping, but at first they do all have an X in common, so I'm going to take out a GCF. And the 4 terms means I'm going to try grouping. All right, here I got X to the 4th, 8X. So what's going on here is a binomial. Okay, X to the 4th is not a perfect cube, but it is does have a common factor. So if I take out the X, now it's X cubed plus 8. So now it is a perfect cube. All right, and so is 8. All right, then X to the 4th minus 16, X squared, this is a trinomial. Okay, there's no GCF, so this is just a quadratic pattern. And then the next one, X cubed, that's 4 terms, no GCF, so that is grouping. And then the last one will be sum and difference. Oops. Okay, so perfect cubes there. All right, so now for your homework, you guys are going to actually go ahead and factor them. So these are the strategies you'll use, okay, and then you'll need to factor and solve in the homework.